This in the background is one of my tanks that I built recently. It is a 400mm cannon added to a tank. Now that is absolutely insane, and honestly I like building tanks like that. However, today what we're going to be doing is working on a modern tank destroyer with a 125mm cannon. How is this going to go? I'm not so sure. Is it going to look like the thing in the background? Who knows? Let's go ahead and see what we can do, shall we? Okay, so I think the way this is going to work is we're going to go ahead and do the tracks first, we'll then move on to the body, and hopefully it will actually fit together really well. I do want it to look modern, of course, but I think we are working within the restrictions of a World War II based game, so this is going to be kind of difficult to do. Anyway, let me go ahead and get the tracks in a place where I need them to be, and then I'll show you guys what I've done, and then we'll move on to building the body together. Alright, so I've gone ahead and done the tracks. As you guys can see right here, we've obviously got more modern looking tracks themselves. I've also made them thicker, and I've also made them a little bit longer. I've changed all of this down here as well, so these all look a little bit different, and I do think that looks pretty good. It is still quite squat, and I do want it to be kind of squat, because the way this is gonna look and work in the end, it just makes sense to be this way. Anyway, let's go ahead and make it slightly thinner, or like squished together. So we're going to go ahead and bring this into 1.5 instead of 1.6, and then we'll work on the body from there, and hopefully it'll look pretty good. Alright, so the way that we are going to do the body then, we're going to extend this guy forwards like this, actually quite a distance. I don't want it to go too far past the actual tracks, and in fact, actually, I'm going to bring them back so it doesn't really even go past the tracks at all. There we go. From there, I'd actually really like to extend this upwards to above where the tracks actually are, and I think that's probably gonna work, but I'm not entirely sure. And when I said earlier I was gonna go ahead and squidge this, the tracks, I'm actually gonna go ahead and send them back out. We're gonna have them 2 meters wide. Actually, maybe not 2. 1.8? Yeah, that makes sense. There we go. If you're wondering why I've went so skinny with this, it's because of what we're going to do a little bit later on. Anyway, extend this all the way out to the side where we need it to be, and that is going to be awesome. Also, let's just send this to default so we can actually see what's going on, and that looks pretty good to me. Looks wide enough, it looks like it's going to be powerful enough, this is good. Okay, so I do think this bit looks a little bit too chunky at the front. However, the issue with actually raising this up is obviously that underneath all of these boxes are here, so we're going to have to try and get rid of those. In order to do that, we can scale down the actual suspension. There you go, and they should slowly somewhat disappear. However, that does really mess with the outside look, so I'm not sure what to do there. Yeah, also, we probably actually do need it to be quite big anyway. So we've made it a little bit smaller. Let's now add an extra piece. Essentially, by dropping this down slightly, there we go, we can then just grab this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy, and we should be able to just shoot them backwards a little bit like this, so that we can still get rid of the boxes, but so it doesn't look quite as chunky at the front. I think that works. Alright, so what do I want to do next? Well, the next thing is actually kind of interesting. We're just going to extend it upwards like this. I'm then going to go ahead and grab this guy, and this guy, as well as the one on the other side, and I'm going to shoot that backwards a little bit like so. Interesting. From there, we're going to go ahead and essentially just shoot this out over the side, and these are going to contribute towards our fenders. Whether it's going to look good or bad, I'm not so sure, but it's looking very wide at the moment. In order to change that, I'm actually going to go ahead and grab the side and this side right here and just send this in a little bit like so. We're then going to go to the tracks and we should be able to send them in as well. So separation on that is going to go back down to 1.3. It's getting even skinnier than it was before. Interesting. Alright, so the important part about this is that we are actually going to be extending it out over the side. We're then going to be extending that bit down, just like so. And I need to come up with some sort of, I don't know, shaping for this that makes it look modern and still work. But I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to do that just yet. And there we go, that is our current situation. I think at the back, I like the rounded off edge. I think that does actually look pretty good. However, at the front, it is still very spiky, and I'm not sure I like that. So there we go. At the front, I've also somewhat rounded that off as well, and I think that looks pretty good. I'm actually really happy with this. So that is our base for our tank destroyer. How is it going to go from there? Let's add the fenders, and we'll see what that looks like next. Alright, so I've just tried to add the fenders to here, and honestly, I don't think it looks awful but I do think we should probably change it. So what I kind of want to do is, instead of having this be one continuous thing, maybe we could try and have it so that it's not quite like that. So in order to... What the heck? What in the world? Alright, hang on. There we go. Let's go ahead and grab each of these, and I'm actually just going to extend them, as well as this bit right here, and probably these bits right here as well. We're just going to go ahead and extend all of it. There you go. I know that seems a little bit strange, and it definitely is a bit of a weird thing to do. I think that's a really good idea. I think it's actually given us something that actually will work quite well. There you go. Yeah, I don't mind that. Maybe don't grab this piece, but we'll grab those two up there. And I'm going to angle those a little bit. But the rest of it can stay pretty much as is. Yeah. It's actually kind of making me think like we don't actually need the fenders. Because without the fenders, I actually think that looks pretty good. With the fenders, I feel like maybe it looks a little bit bad. I'm not so sure. If I change the separation maybe, so it goes out a bit, maybe that looks better? I'm really torn. I'm going to keep them for now, but I'm kind of torn. Alright, next situation that we need to deal with. I actually want to put some lines through this. So let's go ahead and split it right there. What this is going to allow us to do is work on some actual shapes on the top of this. Let's go ahead and split it again, because I feel like we should. Here we go, split. Very nice. And we can probably work on it from there. So, at the front of the tank, let's go ahead and try and make some sort of... I don't know, it's going to be really far forward, so something along the lines of this. From there, we're going to drag these guys forwards, and that's going to try and go backwards to around there. What I'm trying to do is make a bit of a spike. There you go. Honestly, that doesn't look too bad, so I think that's what we're going to go with. The only issue with that is this one needs dragging even further backwards as well. That should then work. At least I think so, anyway. So, let's go to each of these. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. All the way along, including those guys. And extend it. Aha! Okay, right. Let's go ahead and grab this one and this one, send it backwards to try and keep it a straight line, or as much as possible a straight line. That looks pretty sick to me. Yeah. Okay, so from here, what are we gonna do? Well, I'm actually thinking maybe we make this a little bit taller. Just like so. Yeah, kind of, anyway. We then go to each of these pieces, and we drag it backwards slightly. Just like that. From there, we're only going to extend the side pieces up, because we can. So there you go, something along the lines of this. There we go. They need to be extended actually quite far. We're then going to extend those guys backwards, and hopefully this looks really good in the end. It could look terrible, but we'll see. Maybe that's too high. Maybe it is. If it is, we can just drop this down, and then we've got a really cool looking shape going on here, which is exactly what I want. Yeah. Okay, so the next thing is, let's go ahead and increase the angle on the sides. There we go. And that is looking very angled all the way around. It is actually looking really sick. So, the next thing is, we're going to actually delete some pieces and start adding them back on a little bit differently. So, fill that in right there. There we go. We need to do the same on the other side. And then we're going to do it again there. And again right here. This introduces a bunch of angles that maybe look good or maybe look bad. I think it looks pretty good though. Okay, so the next thing that I kind of want to do, I don't know whether it'll look good, bad, or ugly though, is actually introduce an extra piece on the top, which we are going to angle, just like that, I guess. And then I'm going to angle these guys inwards, of course. So let's go ahead and do this. Alright, awesome. And then I kind of want to just attach them together across the top, just like that. Doesn't matter that it's flat, that is actually a-okay. Alright, good. We are now, of course, having a bit of an issue with this, because there is, of course, nothing back here. There's nothing back here. So we need to do something back here to fix this together. Here we go. Extend all of these pieces, maybe. And then we're just going to go ahead and try and shut this off on the back by doing this. There we go. It is now shut off at the back. That looks awesome. I'm happy with it. Okay, so what is next? Well, I'm going to go through each of these pieces. I'm going to try and grab every single bit of it, which may or may not be a bit of a difficult thing to do. And we're going to go and extend this guy backwards quite far, probably to around there. It gives us enough room for an engine space on the back. And at the front, we've obviously got enough room for a driver, probably down here. And a commander can go on the top. Yeah, I think this works out. So, let's go ahead and try and test fit a 125mm cannon. Don't know how this is going to go. I'm going to use one of these for right now. We'll probably make our own mantlet, at least a little bit anyway. And this is going to be 125mm. There we go. That looks really tiny for now, but when we increase this to be like 80mm and this to be 80mm, I think it'll actually start fitting in there quite nicely. Yeah, something along the lines of that. That looks sick. Alright, so, what I'm going to do now is try and tidy up this little bit right here, maybe make them fit in a little bit nicer, and then I think I'm going to go ahead and add a bunch of detail around this, and just try and make it look nice, while also trying to make it modern. Okay, so this is the current state of the tank destroyer. Honestly, I don't think this looks terrible, but I don't think it looks quite how I wanted it to look in the first place, which is really annoying because I kind of want the front end to look a little bit nicer in terms of the gun compartment bit. I think the bottom bit needs to maybe be extended forwards a little bit more, and maybe that'll look nicer. I'm not entirely sure, so how about we actually give it a go? Even though I have just added a bunch of detail, we are now about to mess it up. So let's go ahead and extend all of this forwards. Yes, just like so. Does that make it look better? Worse? I'm not entirely sure. I don't know. So I'm actually going to go ahead and send it backwards, and we'll leave it as is for right now. And maybe in the future we could build something else, but for now, this is what we're going to have. Oh, it's actually deleting all that instead of putting all this stuff back. Interesting. Alright, so something that generally changes things as you play is the camouflage. If we add a camouflage to this tank that makes it look more modern, then that would be great. So roughness, we're going to go ahead and bring that all the way down, and condition is going to be perfect, which seems a little bit strange, but yes, perfect condition. Brightness, let's go ahead and bring that up, and saturation, lower, I guess? Something along the lines of that makes it look like a pretty modern tank. At least I think so, anyway. Maybe we actually bring the brightness down slightly. There we go. And I think that looks sick. So, let's go ahead and work on the cannon just a little bit more. Try and make it look like a modern cannon by adding a... Oh, what is it? Like a baffle? What is it called? I can't remember. And going from there. Alright, so that is what I've added. There you go. There's a cannon right there. Honestly, I think this is going to shred through quite a lot of things. So let's go straight to firepower. Yes. And try and figure this out. So we're just going to go ahead and try and make it fit the barrel in terms of the round. There we go. And all we got to do now is add some ammunition into this thing, which is really, really long. I'm not going to lie. There you go. It makes sense to actually flip this over so that reloading makes a little bit more sense as well. Go ahead and push this into the actual tank. And I think I'm actually going to go ahead and flip it on its side as well. So I'm actually going to increase the amount of them that there is. But we're going to go ahead and roll it over so it's this way up instead. Yeah, there we go. Okay, sick. So this will go through quite a lot of enemies. Depending on how much armor they have. We should go through pretty much everything in this game. At least I think so anyway. So let's get ourselves a gunner's sight. Here we go, one of these. And I am actually going to go ahead and try and disguise this somewhere. So I think I'm going to just put it like up here, I guess. Yeah, just like that, somewhat. There we go. Fire! Nice, it reloads every 10 seconds. That's still quite a long time, but that's fine. Go ahead and shove it in there. Alright, and that's A-okay. In fact, it's not. It's not A-okay, but now it is. Good. Alright, does it... Whoa, that's bright. Does it move? Yes, it does. Does it look modern? I think it does. Yeah. Let's go ahead and aim it towards our friend over here and just shoot him. 3, 2, 1. Boom! Nice. So yeah, what are we missing on this thing? Armor? That is definitely one of the things we are missing. So we'll probably give it that. We're also missing a pretty decent engine. So let's increase this to be like 14 cylinders. 2 liters each. Maybe actually even like 4 liters each. There you go, we're gonna have a massive engine. Because I want this thing to be quite fast. Yes. If we then go to transmission, actually no, powertrain. We want it to be twin transmission, good. Which then means we need more space. So let's go ahead and limit it to 75 liters of fuel. That's a lot less than before. We also need more space now, so let's try and figure this out even more. Engine, yes, quickly go to that. Let's decrease this from 14 down to 12. This should still work really, really well. Yeah, no, this is sick. Good, I'm loving it. Alright, so it's got some pretty powerful armor on the front. So we went with 150 mil there. Anywhere inside of this zone is actually 200, because if we get shot there, we are likely to just die. And everywhere else is even lower. So 150 there, it's actually only 100 here. If we go down here, it's 120. If we go down to here, it is 200 again, because it's flat. The front is actually 155. Up here, it's only 70, because the angle there is insane. On the top, it is 50. Not that we really need armor there. And that's pretty much it. So, let's go ahead and get ourselves up against an enemy and see how well it does. Also, I'm not going to go with a mantlet on this one. Like a custom mantlet, we're just going to go with what we have. Side note, we do need it to be an azimuth. So, let's go ahead and have it go from side to side. And in order to do that, we need some torque on there. There we go. I want to go with 1000, not 100. There we go. So we need more space again. Oh, interesting. So I think the gunner is actually going to have less space than anyone else. That's fine. The driver as well, actually. Driver, less space. Gunner, less space. Let's go. Nice. All right, aim towards our target, which is ourselves. And shoot. Nice. All right, let's go against a king tiger or two. Alright, so we're taking it into the Crossroads map. This may or may not be a good or a bad idea. There's the king tiger right there. Aim and fire. Oh. Well, we literally one-shot a king tiger in its most armored bit. I think we've done a good job. I think we've actually done a really good job. The lights work too. Look at that. Alright, so let's go ahead and try that again, shall we? Aim towards the target, wherever he is. Oh, he's just destroyed one of my tanks. He's behind that tree, and unfortunately I had to shoot the tree first. So now we are in a vulnerable situation here. I'm aiming at the target. I'm firing in... Oh, never mind, I fired straight away. Interesting. There you go. Not too bad. Okay, so we're in a different terrain now. We are back in the snow. I actually really like doing this scenario. I just think it's kind of interesting. I would say about this tank, by the way, obviously we are using World War II technology on a modern tank, and that means we actually have to have like really thick armor, which means that this thing is very heavy. And in order to make it even better, we'd have to add more, and I don't really want to do that, if that makes sense. Anyway, we're driving in. There is some enemies coming our direction, like this guy. Let's aim at him and fire. Alright, he's dead. Who's next? There is 5 more enemies after this guy. I'm assuming there's going to be someone big over here. What's that? Is that a king tiger? I think it might be. Alright, let's go ahead and aim at him. And he's dead. Very nice. King tiger down. There's then a lighter tank back there, and then there's some over there as well. Okay, let's test out our armor against this guy, shall we? Alright, he's already shot us once. And he shot us twice. We're still alive. And he's dead. Excellent. Let's now go towards the other enemies. The bloom on this map is absolutely insane, by the way. I mean, you can already tell. It is so, like, bright on this map. It's crazy. Anyway, we're going to get ourselves up this hill on this side. I'm assuming... Yeah, there's enemies down there, but I'm assuming there's going to be enemies at the top of the hill as well. Yeah, there's a king tiger literally sat right there. So I'm going to try and take him out first before anything else. Which is probably a bad idea, because there's other tanks going to shoot me first. Uh-oh. 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 I can't aim up. Oh, I've missed. This is bad. This is really bad. Shoot the tree. Not me. Uh-oh. Oh boy, that was really a bad decision on my part. If he shoots, I'm dead. He didn't shoot. Reverse! I can't aim down. This is one of our issues. There we go. He's dead. Excellent. We're very lucky on that half. On that half? On that part. But we're good. We're good. Alright, so we've got enemies actually traveling towards us now. So we should be able to get in some sort of defensive area. Down the hill a little bit. And we'll shoot them as they come towards us. Like this guy. But probably the king tiger first. Because he's more deadly. There we go. And then this guy is the last enemy remaining. Interesting. So yeah, we'd need to work on like our azimuth a little bit. And... wow! Oh, that went straight through him. We did 311 millimeters of pen there. versus 127 mil of armor. So that just went straight through. There we go, we did it again. Nice. But yeah, I think we've built a pretty decent looking tank. We could obviously go a little bit more crazy on the detail and stuff like that. But I like it. I think we've done the shaping really well. It looks like a modern tank destroyer, and that's what we needed. So there you go. Anyway, for now, thank you guys very much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. I just wanted to show this thing off in the showroom. Look at that. Sometimes less is actually more. And when you're trying to get a design that looks like this, I think less is definitely more. You can see the angles. I really like it. I do. In the future, again, I feel like maybe I'd add more to this, but at the same time, I don't know. Also, I really like the idea of actually like sending this bit forwards. But obviously that messed with everything else. So maybe in the future we'll redesign this to have a bit of a more angled snout. I think that would be a really good idea. Anyway, for now, thank you guys for watching. See you next time. Goodbye.